Welcome to the Trading Lounge. I would love to share with you the trades I made today on my journey to 100K, where I try to take this small account, $200,000, as fast as possible as a rookie day trader. Started this journey back in December with $1,000. We've added a little bit of cash up until this point, but we are up about $1,400, which you guys will see today, which has been pretty good. I hoped that it would be further along at this point, but we're learning, we're growing, we're green, which is fabulous, and we are green again today. Today's video will be a little bit different because I had someone yesterday who requested right here, says, can you show how you actually enter your trades on your orders entry, or however you submit your order? Like I'm assuming this means like how I physically submit the order. So I recorded my trades today, so this is going to be more of like a live recap of the trades. It's condensed into like, I don't know, 8 minutes or something. This won't be too long. I'll play that video. The first trade of the day is where I enter in with this in mind. So I answer this person's question. Looks like Michael Gonzalez. I answer Michael's question on how I physically enter in, and then the other two stocks I traded. I'll just kind of commentate over the top of those trades. And that's kind of how we'll go about it today. We'll see how it goes. I was not feeling very good this morning. Haven't been feeling good the past couple days. I treat this like a job, so I didn't want to call in sick. I just wasn't feeling my best, and there was a couple moves that blew past me today as the market's gotten a little bit hotter, and I just haven't been quite ready. I had the right ideas, decided not to enter in when I would have in a hot market, but because it's been cold and things have been like tanking, I just haven't been comfortable with some of these moves. And so today I watched a few of them go by, which is really unfortunate. And it is what it is. We are green today, but I'm going to be kind of mentally more prepared for what I think is going to be a hotter market because of the PDT rule change. Although not in effect yet. It will be, and I think people are excited about that. So we've seen some pretty parabolic moves over the last couple days, and I think hopefully that's a sign for great things to come. But what do you know, tomorrow I'll probably drop some money in one of those and lose $100 or something. Who knows? But I like to think positive. Anyway, we're gonna try this out today. So we'll switch to main here. We'll minimize this. First, I will just show you in here in the dashboard where it shows that I am green today. So the 3 stocks that we traded, why would you do that? Don't you be grabbing things. There we go. 3 stocks I traded today, BTOG, MYSEONFO. And then I think, right here, $18.46 is what we're up today. We really only had one truly bad trade, and by bad, you'll see. I mean, there was opportunities there, but it is what it is. So I'll pull this video up real quick right here, and I'm going to kind of I'll keep myself layered over the top of this, and maybe occasionally where it makes sense, I'll pull it down. Like in the beginning, I think it's going to make sense for me to just pull this down unless I need to like commentate. So we're going to get play. This is going to show the trade. This is actually going to show like why I entered this trade, and then how I actually executed it. But I will say something about this trade real quick while it's up and I see it. Sorry, I'm still not feeling 100%. You can see on this chart I have this line marked off at 505. So this was MYSE. This is a continuation trade from the after hours yesterday. It was one of the top ones on the scanner today. But I'm not great at continuation trades, so I was really looking for something with some new breaking news this morning. So this morning at like 4 o'clock my time, PST, so 7 o'clock East Coast time is probably how I should talk. But at 4 o'clock for me, the stock starts to rise right here, and I saw it, and I'm like, I should have went in. Now that is the type of trade I would have taken in a hot market, like with my eyes closed. The volume creeps in, you can see it's going to go up. If you're wrong, you just get out. If you're right, you make a pretty good chunk of cash. When at 4 a.m. my time, when more volume starts to come into the marketplace, and I thought about going in there, and I just didn't. We call it Timid Timmy today. I just was a little bit timid. And I'm like, gosh darn it. So then I was like, okay, here's the deal. If this thing goes over 505, which is what I have marked off here, you can't see it on this chart, but on this chart you can see 505 was the high of yesterday's aftermarket, after hours. And I'm like, if it pulls back, and it did, and if it goes above 505, and it did, I'll go in. And I didn't go in. I just these are moves I would have made in a hot market, but in a cold market, especially as things are over $5, I'm just a little shaky, and I didn't go in. I ended up going up here, which we'll talk about. I saw an opportunity to go in for the sake of this video to be able to share how I enter trades, and I kind of wanted to get that done first thing this morning. And we'll hit the play now, and we'll just kind of go through that, and then I'll pause it here in just a sec. So we'll see how this goes here. Let's turn this off. I really feel like this is going to be the stock that has all the attention today, and I'm going to get priced out. So here's a first pullback, really good pullback with a high of 551 right here, high of 583. I might do this. It could be pretty risky. I'm gonna try it. I'm in 84.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
Not bad, not great. So we're green on the stock, which is great. So let's talk about why I went in there. This is basically to answer the question that I got on YouTube. And so I didn't feel really comfortable going in on the stock. I went in because I saw a specific pattern. I'm going to load up my pen tool real quick. And we'll just go over this real quick while this is going. I don't plan on entering in on this stock again, but I saw a little moment there where I could enter in. Let me load a couple things up for this. Let me load the pen tool up real quick. Okay. So, I saw this. I was watching this pullback. And I didn't enter in above this mark of 505, and it took off without me. We get another pullback here. It went a little higher without me, and then we get this pullback here. I think it's going to probably go again. I see IPW taking off. Not taking off, but it definitely has some action. No news, though. And then I decided that this candle that I entered in on, which was what time? 7:20? Yeah. Made a new high. So once this came over this line after this pullback, I entered in. So that was my entry point. My entry point was when this candle right here broke this candle right here. I got in at, I don't know, call it 584, it looks like, yeah. And then because I was uneasy about the stock, once I saw, sorry, I'm not feeling very well today. Once I saw it wasn't like really moving really fast, up here I took a little bit of a profit out at 589 to secure just a little bit of profit, a little bit more at 589, and then I held the rest in case it ran up really high. Now it ran up to like 6, I don't know what it was. It was like 720 right here on this candle. It ran up to like 615 and popped right back down. But in my mind, I said anything under 6, I'm going to get out because the goal is to kind of let it run. So once it tapped 6, I just got out. Could have made a little bit more money, but anyway, that's why I went in. Now, specifically how I went in was here, and I'm just going to full screen this real quick. So I have a couple of bindings set up here, hotkeys, Alt W, which has a little bit of my buying power plus the ask. So you can just take a screenshot of this. This is what I enter with. I used Alt W, which was like a little bit of my buying power. And then I get out with right here, which is, I was getting out with Alt 2, which is 50% of my position size, and then scaling out a little one more time, and then I ended up hitting Alt 1 to get out completely. So those are my buttons. So I'm literally I'm watching the chart, physically watching the chart to see when this candle right here broke the top of this candle. When the price broke it, I'm actually watching the chart. As I've tried to use last over here before, and it tricks me out. It doesn't work in the same way. So I'll wait for the actual bar, green bar, to go literally over the top of this bar. And once it does that, I buy. I'm also looking at the spread and a few other things in the level 2 to make sure I'm not buying at in a ridiculous spread or anything like that. But I think the stock's gonna pop again, but I'm not gonna buy it right now. I'm gonna try to wait for something new, and then what I'll do is I'll look when I'm ready to buy. Right, I've already decided I'm gonna buy. I just on my keyboard, I don't want to actually do it. I literally just hit Alt. I lay my fingers are always right here in the same spot every day. And I just hit Alt W to buy and Alt 2 to sell or Alt 1 to sell. That's it. So that shows you my entry, when I entered, why I entered, was a candle over candle high after a pullback. And physically how I enter. And then on the screen here, I don't have my, is he going to let me do it? No. Okay. On here, once I enter in, which you guys probably saw, maybe, but it tells me my entry price right here. So I can look elsewhere too. I can look up in this zone. I can look in this zone. I have a couple spots I can look, but I just look right here, and this tells me my average price. And then, but I've already known pretty much where I enter. I have a 5-cent limit, so I already know, like, when I enter, I quickly look at the ask to see what I'm entering it at, what I like, and I know in my head I'm within 5 cents of that, and so I already know what my entry point is, which is really nice. And that's the nice thing about this is not an example of that, but if you're on a really quick broker like OO or direct access broker, and you got like a 3-cent stop or something like that, you know your price every single time, and so I don't have to. I should go back to bed. I don't necessarily have to wait for this to show the price. I pretty much know the price already, and so I'm looking to get out as soon as possible. And you guys saw in that trade, I actually went a little bit below my stop, but I was watching the level 2 price action, and if you notice my eyes, I was looking up at how much I was losing in that moment. Like I was like, oh, I don't mind risking that much money. It's fine. And so I decided to hold a little bit longer and then scaled out. But if you rewatch that closely, you'll see it went below my stop that I was calling out. Here's the breakout here. I'm just going to click this, and just in case it does something absolutely crazy. $641 is the high. There's your momentum. But at this point, I kind of want to wait for a new stock that's a little cheaper, and I think I am. Okay, I'll keep this recording going, but hopefully that answers your question as far as how I enter in to stocks.
All right, sweet. So that was for you. I think it was Michael. That was hard for me to record this morning. I feel a lot better at the moment. I took some Dayquil. I've had I didn't sleep, but I did have a little bit of downtime, and I am feeling quite a bit better than I felt this morning. Thank you all for asking. I know you really care. And so that's the first trade I made was on MYSE, and that's kind of how that trade went down. I was just in a moment where I felt I could take that trade for the sake of this video with little risk. And that's kind of why I took that. I don't think that's a trade I would normally take. I'm not great at continuation trades or anything like that. So anyways, the next two trades we'll just go over real quick, and these are trades that I would normally take, and I'll show you kind of why I took them. Let's see. So the next one is, I did another trade on MYSE. So that first trade I made $21, and then this trade I intentionally made this trade. And the reason why I chose to go in this time was because I was seeing what I felt was a cup and handle. And I took a screenshot of it. I was going to put it in the Discord and get a little bit of feedback on it. But what I was seeing was, let me see if I can get it to work. Yeah, right here. So I was seeing this right here and then this right here, which to me was a cup and handle. And sure, it didn't it didn't run up right here, right? But it just kind of flattened out and then came back down, and then it started to threaten it right in here. And I'm thinking, well, I have this idea in my head. I think I see a cup and handle. So if it can break this level, which is like, 545, 547, 548, maybe it goes up to, this other line I have marked off at like, maybe it can come up here to like 570 or something like that. That's just kind of what I was thinking. It'd go past this area right here up to and kind of challenge the next level that it was at, and that's where my mind was at. And so I also saw down here, like I see it more on the 10-second chart for my eye. I guess you could consider this like, here's a cup and then like there's a handle maybe. I don't really know. It's just especially on the 10-second chart, it's what I saw. So I decided to keep my eye on it. And as soon as I started to see this 1 minute candle start to kind of challenge this, I wanted to give it a try. That's why I made this trade right here. I'm in. And I got in at like 140, what is it? 148, which again is right here, 148. And I just, I think I didn't scale out of this one because I ended up going all out of it because I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look. I think I'd set my stop to 540, and I'm just waiting for it to do something. It goes under 540, but it bounces right back up. And then I think there's a point where the volume starts to creep in and it really takes off. And as soon as it does that, I just tap and get out. So I'm actually staring at the ask and the bid here and watching the tape. And then it drops down here a little bit, I think. And it doesn't take long. I think it goes red. I think this candle goes red a little bit. Maybe it did and I missed it. And at this point, I'm like, man, we might not be. Right here, it goes red. I'm like, And then it pops right there. Here it comes. Come on. Where are you? Hopefully all those bells and whistles aren't too bad for you. So see, it touched my stop a couple times, and then it's going to pop right here. You'll see the tape on the right just fly by, and the stock will jump. Right? You see heating up, starting to heat up a little bit. Right here, it's coming up. Right here. Bam, right there. And I got out right there, just like that. And I got out for all of it. And the stock did go up a little further, but watch it reject right away. I got out at a really good time. Okay, and then I automatically jumped to the next one in the video. But yeah, let me just go forward a little bit here and see if I can get to where the last frame was. Yeah, you can see right here it rejects right back down. So like I had no intention of trying to stand any longer. I just wanted to get that pop with all the buying power I had decided to use at that time and get out, and got out for a nice little profit, and ended up being, so now I'm up $47 on the day on that stock. Now, we're not getting rich here, but I'm happy to be green. The stock price is a little bit higher than what I wanted, and it's not like my typical momentum breaking news thing. They're continuation stuff. I'm trying to trade a pattern, and I would have loved for it to continue up, but just the way that it was grinding, I just decided to get out on the pop, and I think it was a good move. The next stock was right here. This is B. Did I get these wrong? Where's ONFO?
Okay, here we go.
Was that ONFO? I think I might have made a mistake here, but I'll just go through this trade. Wait a minute, hold on a sec. Do I have ONFO in here? Oh, I don't. That's right. We'll talk about that one too. I must have accidentally cut that out, all that out, unless it's at the end somewhere. Let's take a look here. Oh, okay. Well, ONFO, which we'll do last, because for some reason I thought I recorded it and put it in here, but I didn't. So this is a different stock. This is BTOG. BTOG hits the scanner, and the news, I believe this was the stock. Let me verify real quick, but I think this was the stock that the news wasn't showing everywhere. Let me take a look. Yeah. So with this stock, it hit the scanner, and the scanner I'm using is this Chart Watcher scanner over here. I love this scanner. There's been a few things I haven't liked about it, like my chart has froze up once. The float has been inaccurate on a couple stocks, and not just slightly, but by a decent enough margin where I'm deciding if to add float into my dash trader, and that's fine. But it has performed very, very well. And so this stock actually showed up on this scanner, and it at the time did not show news on the scanner when I first saw it hit the scanner. And this is what was happening with most. By the way, the scanner is the same scanner, not same. It's very similar to Day Trade Dash and how it functions. So those of you guys who've tried the 2-week free trial for Day Trade Dash, you don't want to pay the money, or you're coming out of that program, because if you're a member, you don't get Day Trade Dash for free. It's not included, maybe for a little while, but then you have to pay a fee. If you're looking for something that's just different and functions similarly, but is better in some ways, this Chart Watchers platform is really, really strong, really strong. And it's probably going to be the platform I stay with for a while. But anyway, it popped up on the scanner, and in the Discord, everyone's kind of searching for news. Well, in Day Trade and in Dash Trader, there was news. It was right here. So I could see it in Dash Trader. So I saw the news, and then I've noticed this a few times. So the news will come up before, I'll see the news before other people when it's in Dash Trader and not somewhere else. And then I'm like, I might get in on the stock based on that news and price action, but the news takes a little while, and then there'll be a pullback, and I'm like, I hit my stop, and I get out, and then everyone else gets the news, and then it rips, and I'm like, ugh. So I have to be kind of careful with that, but I'd prefer to have news as early as possible, right? Let's turn the volume up a little bit for me. Anyway, so as I pull up this stock, this is kind of what I'm looking at, and right now you can see a spread of 80 cents. Like this isn't looking really good. There's not a ton of volume here yet, but it's creeping in. And there's a moment here where I thought I was going to get in early, and where I'd take the risk, because I felt with the news, and I thought as soon as people would see this news that it would pop. It does end up doing really well, but there's a moment early.
Here we go. BTOG.
Right in here, where you can see the spread is like 80 cents. I feel like there's a point in here like under $5 where I feel like I could get her. So you can see the price of the stock is $5.25. The ask is $5.58, and the bid is $4.78. This is not the time to enter. You have people who are doing it, and you can also, if you want, you can buy in the spread. Like, see, this person's buying a $5.25. $5.19, $5.36. Like, there's plenty of action happening in the spread here. I'm just not really set up for it, so I end up always just buying on the ask. But I wasn't willing to take this risk. So if you buy now at $5.58 because you think it's going to go up, and it doesn't, your risk is 80 cents right there, automatically. That's why you got to wait for the spread to tighten. Or if you're more experienced, you can. If you see something like this and say it's 30 cents, you're like, I'm willing to risk 25 cents to buy now and see, if it rips up, which is what I was thinking with this stock, to be honest with you. I forget exactly where.
Does have news announced strategic financial explorer and AI computing. What do you know? This is so stupid.
No, I said this is so stupid because all of a sudden everyone's putting out AI news. They're all just, it's like, today was AI news, yesterday with Bird. Like, I mean, we're starting to, and then I'm sure we're going to see a trend here. But you see the stock popped up to 663 right here. And so my instinct to potentially go in early could have worked for me. It rejects right back down. And at that point, I'm like, well, I'm not going to try to enter. Again, like I was thinking, I'm going to look for a new entry.
Stupid.
This is going to be quick, I promise. And the stock comes down. But now I'm like, okay, I can't enter in.
Probably, yep.
I don't really want to enter in anywhere around here because, here, hold on, let me show you. So
SSR, which is cool.
Yeah. So if I wait for the next 1 minute candle, which is typically what I would do, right? I gotta wait. This is gonna come down quite a bit, by the way. It's gonna come down quite a bit. I gotta wait for my process. I got to wait for that 1 minute candle to go because it popped all the way up here and got rejected. I got to come from like 350 or whatever, 450, whatever it comes down to here in a second, all the way up to 693. And I'm like, I know people have not gotten this news yet. They're going to get this news and this thing might do something. So you're going to see, I'm going to move my mouse up in this range. All of a sudden, my I'm just thinking about like how sick I was this morning. My thought process goes to the 10-second chart. Because if I'm going to get in at this point, it's going to be something I see on the 10-second chart, because there's no way this stock is going to move up on this next 1 minute candle up to $7. It's just not going to happen. So let's see if I can find out when that is. Right there. So right there, I'm looking at the top of this candle. And I only do this a couple times because I don't need to do this. You can just look up here for the high of the current candle. So eventually I switch to that. But now I'm looking at, okay, where are these 10-second candles? Where is there an opportunity for me to potentially get in here? And I only have a little bit of buying power I was going to use here. I don't remember what I went in with here, but it wasn't very much buying power. Just because like I was already like pretty much even for the day. I want to risk a whole ton. And I don't think it's here. I'm breathing pretty hard in that mic, by the way. Let's see if you guys will be able to pick that up. Right here. So it comes down to under $4. And this is where I think, yeah. And this is where I'm like, okay, if it goes over this line right here, right there on the 10-second chart with some volume, I see some triggers, some positive things, I'm gonna go in. And we did. So if you look right here, the next green candle that passes over that line, I go in. It's either this one or the next one. I can't remember which one it is. Right here. Yeah. So right there is where I enter. I hit the button. It hasn't registered yet. Let's see if it... Oh, it did. It's sending it. It's sending it in there. Okay. So right there when that green candle passes over that red candle, this is not typically something I would do because normally I'd be waiting for the first pullback on a 1 minute candle. So we'd wait for this candle to close, a green candle to open, rise above it, and enter. But I just really felt strongly about this with what I was seeing. And I was going with small size, so the risk wasn't that great for me. So I'm in it, going to be in at 430 is what I end up getting in at right here. And I'm in at 42 shares. So you can there's not that much buying power, right? Does it tell you how much money I'm in here? Not really, but I mean, the market value is 176. That's close enough to where I was, to what I went in with. So not a whole lot. And then once I'm in, I'm just looking at the level 2. I'm looking right here to see like when I can get out. And it's already dropped to 420, right? So 420 was about like 10 cents was about my like stop. 430. And then I'm watching, and as soon as it starts to creep up, I get out right there. I start to scale out. Now, I scaled out, and right here, I also tried to scale out. So at this point, I'd already scaled out when it hit 460. It jumped up to like 460. I scaled out. The last one I tried to scale out, the stock dropped faster than my limit order. And it took me a second to realize. So right now I'm almost out. I have 21 shares left. And I notice it because I've tried to exit and I still see these numbers here, and like we still have numbers churning up here. Not much, but enough to where I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. Well, if you look right here, you can see that I've got this order has not hit. Now, in hindsight, had I not caught this and just left it there, I would have made more money than what I ended up making. Because what happens to happen here is I realize that it's happening as the stock is dropping. I go to cancel it, and then as soon as I go to cancel it, because there's a mistake made here, I cancel it and I immediately get out, which is what I think I would do normally. And right as I do that, the stock pumps up past my limit order. So I mean, would have made more money if I had just let it sit there. But it is what it is. It's fine. So you'll see I will come up, I'll physically cancel this, and then I'll resubmit the order, and we'll be out for a little bit of a profit. I also have a binding for that. It's Alt. I think it's Alt X to cancel all of my orders. I could have done that as well, but when it comes to canceling, for some reason I like to click. So I'll click it here, right up here. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm looking. I try to resubmit it. It doesn't work. And they're like, okay, there it is. So you see right there, I click it, and then I have to I hit the button right there to up here to actually cancel it. And once I cancel it, then I think I was up like $5 and I just got out right away. And you'll see right here, it's 450 right here. And I go to cancel it and resubmit it, and it goes up to like 460, 469, $5, over $5. It was tough to see there because I cut it out, but so those those were the trades I made today. Here's the data. We participated in 63 trade days. We got a win rate of 67%. I'm happy with what I'm seeing with that so far. I know I say that every day for the most part, and we are green, $1,400. We're a couple $100 away from being back out of a drawdown that happened in February. And I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed a different style to these videos. I kind of thought this video would be like 15 minutes, but I think it's going to be like 30 or 40 minutes. I don't really know, but and it answered a question that somebody really wanted to know. Hopefully it answers that question and gave you an insight into kind of some of the styles of trading that I do and look at and what I'm thinking. But I do feel like I'm getting much stronger as a trader by making these videos and learning from these videos and really understanding what I'm doing well, what I'm not doing well. You know, yesterday I traded and there was a trade I made I shouldn't have made, but you know, I was learning and there's something about learning when you have real money on the line too. Like I'm not going to forget that. I'm not going to forget that yesterday there was spoof sellers on the ask on the stock KIDZ, and they were pulling it and it was getting gobbled up, and while it was getting gobbled up I was trying to enter for little spikes and I just didn't quite hit it, you know. I'm going to remember that. And there's going to be a day when I make that trade and I make money because there's opportunities to make money there. And there was opportunities to make money here today too. There's a big stock, Bird, BIRD, ripped up yesterday. It was too expensive for me. It was too expensive. And one day it won't be too expensive for me. And I asked Ross Cameron's recap video yesterday if there were spoof sellers on the ask for that stock as well. And he said yes, they were there as well. So the same thing was happening on Kids was happening on Bird as well. But on Bird they were getting squeezed, right? They kept getting squeezed up, or you know they'd either pull out and or they would get squeezed. Like the stock kept moving up. The same thing could have happened to KIDZ yesterday, for the record. You know, so I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Anyway, I hope you guys were green today. Timid Timmy was out today, left some out on the table for sure. And tomorrow we'll get some rest. We'll feel a little bit better. And hopefully tomorrow I'm going to take a little bit of risk. I will only do it with a little bit of buying power, not a ton, but the same thing today, like $1,600-ish at a time, $1,500 at a time. And if I see something that maybe uncharacteristically has not done well in a cold market but did well in a hot market for me, I'm going to probably enter in because of in my opinion, 2 hot days in a row. And I'm excited for that. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Cheers.